today. You're never, that's a ridiculous thing to ask you to guess. It was cheese. Surprise cheese. Okay, so I was in a meeting and yeah, Jacobson's cheese. Artisan cheese. So good. I assume it's good. We haven't tried it, just came. I was in a meeting, I was in a Zoom meeting, and then there was this doorbell, obviously our doorbell, and then Ryan was doing something else. So I was like, oh, whatever, it's probably just a delivery for Ryan gets stuff delivered all the time. And then they knocked, which never happens. I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll be just give me 1 second. And I got up and went, and I was like, cheese delivery. Why did Ryan order cheese? And then he didn't order cheese. Turns out it was a housewarming gift. And I didn't know it was coming, obviously, because it was a gift. So excited though. And it's cheese of the month. So there's a small part of me that wonders if more cheese is coming, if I've now been subscribed to this cheese club. That would be the best case scenario. But I'm really friggin' excited about the cheese that we did get. So I'm talking about receipts to QuickBooks workflow. Just had to tell you about cheese. So you buy something, maybe it's cheese, maybe you've bought cheese, and you need to get it into QuickBooks. How does that work? How do you go from actually buying something, getting a receipt, to entering it in QuickBooks? Because I've talked about receipt management and I've talked about QuickBooks, and let's just talk about the workflow of how that whole thing works. So you get your receipt, and I like the idea of having an app to manage this, but you don't need one necessarily. You can just use your cloud storage of choice. So iCloud or OneDrive or Google Drive or whatever it is. But take a picture. When you get your receipt, take a picture. So I've just bought cheese. I take a picture of that receipt, and either I'm using the app to take a photo. So I like to use Receipt Bank, but HubDoc is also a good option. Take that photo, goes to the app itself, and it gets captured. And the app reads it and then tries to pull all the information out of it. So take that photo, gets sent off. If you're taking a photo and it's going to your cloud storage of choice, then you take that photo, it gets uploaded to your cloud storage. The next piece of this is to manage the digital receipt. So you have decided now is the time to do your bookkeeping, and you sit down at your computer. If you have an app, then you log into your app on your computer, because it looks different on your computer than it does on your phone. Log into the app, and you use the picture of the receipt will have shown up as a line in your app. And so you look at that receipt and you look at what the app has pulled out of it, what it's read from the receipt, and just double check that it's right. Put in any notes that you wanted. Maybe you want to attach it to a customer or something like that. So just make sure all of that is correct and hit publish or send or whatever it is for your app, and that will push it to QuickBooks. You have to have connected QuickBooks before this. It should be in the integrations section of your app. It should be really easy to do and straightforward. And so you just publish it, and then that actually posts to QuickBooks. So now your receipt is in QuickBooks. If you're using a cloud storage option that's not an app, I would so that photo that you took will upload to whatever cloud thing that you're using. So from there, I would make sure that you have a folder set up to capture these receipts, and so that you don't have just a big long list of them. I would create folders for the fiscal year that you're working in at the very least, but you can also create them for quarters or months depending on how many receipts you have. And I would change the name of that receipt to be something like Jacobson's, and it cost, I don't know, $10. And I put all this in the receipt name, and I also say how I paid for it. So when I'm looking for it later, I know what it is. Then your next step is to actually go into QuickBooks. In QuickBooks, I recommend having your bank accounts connected so that it just pulls all the transactions for you. In the banking section of QuickBooks, you'll have a list of transactions that you haven't categorized. And if you're using an app and it's published to QuickBooks, if you find that transaction in QuickBooks, it'll just match. It'll have found a match for you. It'll come up and say one record found. It'll have a little green record found, and you can just hit match. And what that does is it matches the transaction that's from the bank to the one that you actually posted from the receipt app. And that receipt is now attached to the transaction, and it's linked to the bank account transaction, and everything just fits together like a little puzzle, 3-piece puzzle. Hardest puzzle in the world, just 3 pieces. If you're using the cloud storage, then go into QuickBooks, same thing. Look at the transactions that have been brought in from the bank account, and you can actually attach the receipt right there in that window. So you click on the line and it blows open the options for you to put in, fill in the options like you would have done on the receipt management app, and then there's a little add attachment button, and you can go and find the receipt in your storage and attach it right there into QuickBooks. And then it all ends up the same. If you have any questions about receipts to QuickBooks workflows, I'd love to answer those. Leave them for me in the comments. And if you have any like, I don't know, recommendations is not the right word, but if you have had a cheese club month, I can't even talk, I'm so excited. If you've ever been a part of a monthly cheese club, please let me know about that too. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you tomorrow.